Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kanisha if you already don't know. And today is the second day of bookmas, and in this video I'm going to be giving you 8 book recommendations to get you out of a reading slump. I am the queen of reading slumps, okay? Like, I'm always in a reading slump somehow, but these are the books that have helped me get out of a reading slump, so I hope they can help you get out of a reading slump. But let's get into the video. So the first book is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I feel like everyone has talked about this book, and for good reasons. It is so good. If you have not read this yet, you need to go read it now. This is the childhood friends to lover trope, which is one of my favorite tropes ever, and I literally love this book so much. Basically, we follow our main character, Macy. She is becoming this new Pete resident, and she's marrying someone who's a little bit older, but then one day she bumps into her childhood best friend, Elliot. Macy and Elliot used to spend their summers and weekends outside of San Francisco, like kind of like in a cabin-ish, I'm pretty sure. And you know, they literally did everything together. They read books, sharing their secrets, their pains, their triumphs, and favorite new words as well. But then one day Macy and her dad just leave without any notice, and Elliot is left without knowing anything that happens to his best friend until years later when they obviously meet again. They literally go back and forth between the past and present, which I really like about childhood friends and lovers, because I feel like you get to know more about the characters and really connected with them a lot. And yeah, this is just one of my favorite books ever. And Christina and Lauren's writing, it's so easy to get into it. Like, you're just thrown into the story. So absolutely love this. Highly recommend. Next we have is A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. This is a new release, and I absolutely love this one so much. Oh my god, if you are a hopeless romantic, this is gonna be the perfect book for you. So we have our main character, Eileen. She reads romance books. She loves living in her romance books. She thinks she's just never gonna find love outside in the real world, which, same, literally same. And she has this book club with her best friend, but unfortunately most of the people in the book club couldn't go, so Eileen decides to go by herself. Her car breaks down and she is stranded, but she sees this diner, so she goes in, and then realizing she is actually in her favorite romance books, Small Town. Yeah, she's in the romance book. Eileen is in the romance book, and she's seeing all the characters that she has loved throughout the years, but she sees this one character where she cannot remember or even recognize him, because even though she's read these books back to back, this one character she has no idea. So she's trying to investigate who this character is, but also help this small town. So yeah, it's such a quick, easy, fast-paced book, and I just loved it so much, especially the fact that I feel like this is every like romance reader's dream, is to be actually in the small town of their favorite romance book. So yeah. Next we have is 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. Anything by Holly Jackson I will read, and I will instantly get out of my reading slump, because, well, mostly like she writes mystery and thrillers, and I feel like mystery and thrillers are easy to get into because you don't really know exactly what's gonna happen, and you're kind of just following along with the characters, and everything just starts to unfold. And I really like those types of books because I feel like those help you get out of the reading slump. We have our main character, Red, and she's going on a road trip for spring break with 5 other people in the car, and their RV breaks down kind of in like the middle of nowhere, and then they realize they're actually being targeted because there's someone outside with like a sniper or something like that. So they realize they're stuck in the RV, there's no service or anything, so they're kind of just stranded until the morning. You follow all the characters in just this one setting, like the RV, that everything just happens in the RV, which I really like because you're not really bouncing anywhere location to location, you're just in one spot, which I think is really smart, and I hope that there's more books that can be written like that, because I really like it when everything can happen in one area. I really like that. And basically all the 6 friends, they have to figure out what's happening and if there's someone in the RV that is a liar. So yeah, really love it. I just love anything by Holly Jackson. I think she's just an amazing author. Next we have is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This was my first Abby Jimenez book, and oh my god, it did not disappoint at all. At all. This is such a good romance book. I feel like with Abby's book, she doesn't only just talk about the romance, she talks about like important things too, because this one is very mental health focused, which I really like because I really connected with the characters, specifically Jacob, our male main character. Like, I really resonate with him, and I feel like it's just amazing. I really love this book. We follow our main character Brianna, and she is this doctor. She's going through a divorce. Her brother is running out of time and he needs a kidney donor. She's just not having a great time in life. And there's also another doctor named Jacob who has kind of made her life miserable because they did not have a good first impression. But it turns out Jacob actually isn't mean or anything. He's just a very shy and has a lot of anxiety. And Jacob does like the most crazy thing ever is by giving his kidney to her brother, and Brianna is realizing maybe he isn't so bad. Maybe Jacob may be the one. So yeah, it's really cute. I really love the focus on mental health in this book. I feel like it's important in a lot of romance books just because, like, yeah, a lot of romance books are filled with smut, obviously, but I feel like when you talk about very important issues in a romance book, it really helps you connect with the characters more instead of just having like so many sex scenes. So yeah. Next is The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood. This is a new release and it was actually really good. It reminded me of The Good Place a little bit, like our main character. She reminded me of Eleanor. Basically, we follow our main character Delphine, and she recently dies. And while she's waiting in the waiting room in the afterlife, she somehow meets the one in the afterlife. And so she tries to chase after him, but it doesn't work out. So she makes a deal with the person who's working at the afterlife waiting room thing that if she can find him in 10 days, she gets to live, and if not, she will just die. So you really go through this like adventure with Delphine, and Delphine is a very like kind of like a character that doesn't really look for help, which is why she reminded me of Eleanor, because I feel like they would have similar traits. So Delphine needs a lot of help to find the one, and she asks her neighbor to help her, and they go on a little adventure, and it's really cute. It's really fast-paced. The chapters are not that long at all. You're literally just following Delphine and her neighbor's adventures, and they're gonna try to find the one, basically. So yeah, it's really good. Absolutely love this one. I feel like Christy Greenwood, I hope to see more books from her because I really enjoyed this one. Next we have is another Holly Jackson book, but it is the reappearance of Rachel Price. And I mean, I've already said that I love Holly Jackson, so I'm not gonna go into that again, but just know I will always love Holly Jackson, like literally no matter what. We have our main character Belle, and her mom has disappeared, and Belle was like basically a baby, so Belle has no memory of it, but she was also the only witness there, so obviously she has no memory of it because she was a baby. But the case is dragged back up again when the true crime documentary wants to like interview the family, interview Belle, kind of get down to exactly what happened. But her mom, Rachel Price, shows up again, and everyone is confused because she's been gone for so long, and like now she has reappeared. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So you literally follow Belle and kind of see everything just unfold, and also like the true crime documentary, which I really like any books that have media forms in it because I feel like it makes it more interesting. And speaking about media, we have Listen for the Lie by Amy Tentira. I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I recently read this and oh my god, it is so good. We basically follow our main character Lucy, and Lucy has been accused of murdering her best friend. And everyone in the small town also believes that's true because when they first discover Lucy, she was covered in her best friend's blood, so everyone assumes ultimately that Lucy is the one who did it, and Lucy's excuse that she has no memory of it whatsoever. So there's not much to like go on, and everyone just assume Lucy has done it. And a few years later has passed by. Lucy has moved to Los Angeles, but now she is forced to go back to her small town again because there's this podcaster named Ben Owens who has kind of opened up the case again for his podcast and is interviewing all the people in the small town and kind of getting down to see exactly what happened that night. So yeah, it's really good. You get parts of like the podcast, which is really interesting, and I heard the audiobook is a good listen to because it is like a podcast type of book. So yeah, definitely check it out. Love this book so much. I feel like a lot of people have not talked about it, so definitely check it out. Next we have is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I mean, everyone has talked about this book. I've talked about this book so many times, and it's so good. If you want an easy like fantasy, I guess it's like a historical fantasy a little bit too, this will be perfect. So we have our main character Addie LaRue, and in the 1700s she makes a deal with kind of like a devil figure, kind of a devil person, and she realizes that the deal was not in fact what she wanted. It was not a good deal. It was basically that anyone who meets Addie will not remember who she is. So she goes through her whole life, like 300 years of meeting people, but then once they look away, they do not remember her at all. So Addie is kind of stuck in this loop, but also just stuck with being lonely in the past and present, because obviously it starts from the 1700s and you go into modern times like the 2000s. So it's really a lonely world for Addie LaRue. But then she goes into this bookstore one day and she meets this bookkeeper, Henry, and she comes in the next day and he remembers her. This is the first time someone has remembered her, and she's so confused because how does he remember her? Because anyone who's met her doesn't remember her. So yeah, it's just an amazing book. Like, I think I really like any strong female characters, and I feel like Addie is that strong female character because I feel like they're not like a damsel in distress. Like, I don't mind a damsel in distress, but sometimes, girl, you need to go pick yourself up. Okay, you need to go pick yourself up and put the work in. Just the way the writing is, it's just beautiful. Like, V.E. Schwab just knows how to write. Like, I've annotated so much in this book. There's this one quote: "But it is a lonely thing to be forgotten, to remember when no one else does." And I can't wait to read more of their books because I just love the way they write. Like, beautiful. But that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this one is not going to be that long, but you know, bookmas is going to kill me for filming every day. So yeah, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.